Today I would like to tell you a story about special encounters in Taiwan. We meet people every day in coffee shops, supermarket line. It always happens spontaneously. Nonetheless, sometimes meeting new people can be fun. And here it is one of these fun stories. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Alex and I'm very happy to see you again. The story begins with me receiving an invitation to an interview. The only thing is that I didn't know the person that I'm going to meet. I didn't have their picture. I didn't know their Chinese name because, most of the Taiwanese people use their English name. It's fine. I travel all the way to the place where I was supposed to meet this person. So I come to this beautiful office building. I go inside. I stand there in the lobby waiting for the person to respond to my message because I texted that I have arrived. And I start to wait, and the wait goes on for quite some time. People there are dressed accordingly. They're dressed in the suits and, business casual, you can call it, right? I'm also dressed business casually, I guess. And I've been standing there and waiting, So I'm in my cell phone, checking my stuff, and again, I notice the door opening, and outside of the door comes a big person, like very big guy. And it's not even about the size of the guy, it's about the way he was dressed. It was kind of suspicious because it's an office building in the central downtown area. He was dressed in this black t-shirt and black shorts. He had this huge watch on his wrist and he was covered in tattoos. And you could see them. Long sleeve tattoo on the right arm and a tattoo sleeve on the left arm. He had tattoos on his legs. And how should I put this right? People who lived in Taiwan probably already kind of understand what I'm trying to say here, I'm not saying anything, but that is kind of a cliche. I'm not gonna say cliche what, And I'm just continue using my cell phone until this person starts to pass me by. And as soon as he passes me by, I realize that he stopped, he looked at me, and he starts walking towards me slowly. And that's where I go like, huh? What's going on? What's going on now? Why? It doesn't sound this dramatic now, but trust me, it was quite dramatic when it was happening in front of me. The guy comes towards me. I kind of lift my head away from the cell phone and I'm looking at him like this. Yeah, the guy is taller than me, and it's quite rare. I told you the guy was big. So I'm looking at him, and he looks down on me, and I'm looking at him, and he looks down on me, and he goes, Alex. Honestly, at that moment, I did not know what's going on. I thought it was a prank. I was like, it did not make sense at that moment, but whatever happens, happens. So I say, yeah. Let's say his name was John, and he's like, my name is John. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, hi, Alex. Nice to meet you too. You would expect this kind of encounter in Starbucks. You would expect this kind of encounter in supermarket, in the park, anywhere else, but not in a building like this, not in a way like this. Look, I don't mind what people like and what kind of hobbies they have and what they do for a living. It's none of my business. As long as these people are not threatening my life, I'm fine with that. I follow John into the office building and we get into the elevator. And in the elevator, the only thought that I'm trying to process at that moment is what is going on? John is being very quiet. He doesn't say a word. He just stands there like a bodyguard and he's not talking to me. He's just looking forward, no nothing, just quiet. And I'm getting really worried. And then he comes to the door right in front of the elevator and he goes, welcome. I was like, okay. The moment he opens the door, I realize that I go inside and I see, I would say probably 15, 16 cats. I see sort of an office area with a sofa, and on that sofa is sitting another guy that looks exactly like John. One thought that crossed my mind at that moment was if I cross this threshold, am I gonna come back? Put yourself in my shoes. I'm following the guy that looks extremely peculiar for the environment that we are in. And I follow him all the way to another floor where I meet another guy that looks exactly the same. And I'm not judging, don't get me wrong. It's just so unexpected. I mean, it's something that you would not expect to happen in this kind of environment. I go inside and I sit on the same sofa because the guy to the left, let's call him Jack, was watching the TV that was right in front of the sofa. So I sit here, Jack sits on the left, also covered in tattoos, also dressed all in black, and then John comes back with a bottle of beer, and he sits next to me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm supposed to do an interview. And he brought beers. He took out this smoking device. He took out a beer, gave me one, gave Jack one, and put one for himself. And he just like, hey, let's do the interview. In a sense, at that moment, I was like, what's going on? Like, why, what, how? What am I supposed to do? And of course, I'm not gonna lose my mental balance because of this. So I'm just like, okay, interview it is. And I'm sitting like, you know, because these guys are huge. And I mean, I thought I was tall, but no, they're taller than me and they're bigger and wider than me. So there's a sofa and they're like taking maybe like more than 2/3 of it. And I'm sitting there like, you know, like in between them, like squeezed in between these two guys. And I'm like, okay, let's start. Anyway, John turned out to be a very caring, polite person, and honestly, one of the best people I probably met in Taiwan, surprisingly. And obviously, you can tell that it's one of these things about Taiwan that still sometimes really surprises me in a good way, that you can encounter some person that would look maybe even hostile in a way. But the moment you start talking to them, for whatever reason, they turn out to be amazing, kind, caring, warm people. This is a very nice thing. And I've been to many countries in my life, and I can tell you that this is not a very common thing to meet people and be so open to them and warm in the first place. Thank you very much for watching this episode. We're just starting. This is one of the first videos on this channel, and I would like to invite you to subscribe to it and leave a comment or maybe share similar stories, because your comments and your feedback tells me whether I'm going the right way, the way that you would be interested to continue to watch. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Alex out. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. It actually was funny when I came out of the interview and I came back home. I started telling this to my wife, like, hey, I kind of went to this interesting interview and I told her the whole story, and she started laughing, saying like, I wonder what kind of business is he doing and why does he need your services in the first place? I say like, I don't know. He's exporting, importing. And she's like, oh yes, I kind of suspect what kind of import we're talking about here. John, thank you very much. You're an amazing guy, and I really cherish our friendship. But with the way we met, you have to agree, this was unusual at the very least.